All you have to do is load up the cannon with TNT just like this, with the last one being the TNT that will be fired into the distance. And then we just press the button and watch it go boom. All you need to build this cannon is a bucket of water, 2 repeaters, and a little bit of redstone, so it's extremely cheap and is something that you'll see scattered all over any faction server you join, with completely destroyed bases near it. I don't know who designed it, and I wasn't able to find out by looking through YouTube. So, as a way of paying respect to this magnificent design, I decided to give it a boost using Create Mod. And this is the first design that I came up with. It's super simple and relies on a fan cranked up to full speed right here at the base. Since the fan pushes the TNT, we can make this cannon as long as the fan can push, which makes it almost 3 times longer than the original design. We load it with TNT just the same way as the other cannon, and obviously we get to place a lot more TNT here, and we just need to leave the last block. And the reason I placed water here is to prevent damage to the cannon, otherwise the fan will take care of everything else. So let me press the button now and you'll see what I mean. This fan is so powerful, it's pushing the TNT to sit perfectly where it's supposed to, creating a really powerful blast with the same super cheap design. And of course, using redstone links means less wires all over the place. So now that you've seen this one, it's time to move on to the next design. This time I decided to go a bit crazy and do something really specific to Create Mod. Here I have 2 fans cranked up to full speed and pointing up, and I have 4 dispensers pointing into the first fan and 2 pointing to the second. Whenever I press the button, we'll see a bunch of TNT fly up and settle in the fuel position, and a moment later we'll see the charge go up and settle in the firing position, and then the fuel will explode and send the charge into the distance. This is obviously not the most effective or powerful cannon you can build at all, but I think the concept is really fun and I'll keep exploring whether I can make it more practical. And now it's time to introduce some real power into the equation. This is essentially the same design as the first and second cannons, except it uses 2 rows of dispensers on each side loaded with TNT. There are 40 dispensers on each side, so the fuel we'll use with each shot is going to be 80 blocks of TNT. This cannon packs a huge amount of power. But as I started to stack the dispensers, I discovered that some of the TNT starts getting pushed up and it destroys parts of the cannon. And adding water didn't solve the issue because some blocks kept floating. But eventually I decided to try putting magma blocks at the bottom and filling the entire thing with water, and that immediately solved the issue as now everything goes forward and down very nicely. So now all of the 80 TNT blocks find themselves neatly packed into a single block behind our charge, firing it into oblivion. And of course, where we can do 2 rows of dispensers, we can do 4. I also implemented redstone links here to use less wires and make the design more compact. This way we can tile up this cannon and make it even taller and more powerful if we need to. So this thing is actually fueled by 160 blocks of TNT with each shot. And I also set it up with magma blocks and fully powered fans to make sure the TNT lands in exactly the right spot. And of course, as I've been doing with the previous cannons, I have an adjustable repeater at the very end set to a certain amount of ticks that allows enough time for the TNT to sit in the launch slot. And adjusting this repeater can change the range and power of this cannon. So when I finished this design, I thought that I was done and that I had built the most powerful design yet. But then I had another idea. Yup. What you're looking at is a cannon, and this design is absolutely impossible to do without Create Mod. Try it and you'll end up with a massive explosion. Of course, I destroyed this thing many times in the process of designing it, so I think now it's stable enough to showcase, but I haven't fired this specific version of it, so I'm keeping my fingers crossed for this one. This cannon is so huge, there are bats spawning inside of it, and I can't do anything about them because the inside is completely made of dispensers. As you see in here, this thing looks like a nuclear reactor or something. And now if I keep going in this direction, we will find signs of damage along a very long distance. So I'd say this first version of the design is a success.